Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. On the agenda tonight, we have the sad news that Roy Clark passed away yesterday. So I'm going to get Roy up on screen again, and this video is going to be a little bit different. We've seen videos of him absolutely nailing 6 strings, 12 strings, banjo, anything with strings on, he can absolutely nail. And again, the case tonight is going to be playing a bit of fiddle, and he's playing with Jimmy Henley. Jimmy's only 12 in this video. Roy first met Jimmy when Jimmy was 10 and was really impressed with Jimmy's ability on the banjo, as we're about to see, and then they worked for 25 years after that time. But let's get these two up on screen and see how Roy gets on with the fiddle. I'm just going to jump in here because I'm just going to watch the whole video. It's one of those ones you just want to watch the whole way through. But I want to do this like the other analysis videos that I do, in terms of taking a look at Roy's playing and his ability and being able to put in this comical side to it. It's like having this, what I'd call a duel between the banjo and the fiddle. And also Jimmy, even though he's only 12, he's still got the ability to play at such a high level, but also put a little bit of that comedy in there. You can see he's pulling faces when he's going into a slightly more technical part of the playing and the picking, and he's absolutely nailing it. So it's a really great performance to see the relationship between Roy and Jimmy, even at this early stage. A lot of people that have watched my channel will know that I cover a lot of guitarists. Of course, Roy is one of those as well, but the techniques cross over to the fiddle. It's exactly the same in terms of, you can see when first finger, second finger, little finger, when you're playing runs, it's always going to be that same technique. The advantage you get on the fiddle or violin, if you're not addressing country music, you get that advantage of being able to sustain a note all the time with the bow, which you obviously have to pick, and then the sustain is gonna then drop out if you're playing guitar. So you get that advantage, but playing runs is all the same muscle memory with this left hand, but the major difference is you don't have any point of reference On the fiddle, you don't get any clue as to where the note is. So you can be ever so slightly sharp, you can be ever so slightly flat. You really have to nail the pitch and get that finger in exactly the right spot every time in order to make it sound musical and melodic. The advantage with guitar is it's cut up into frets for you. So if you tune your guitar, every note that you hit is going to be perfectly in tune, and as long as you don't start bending the strings, that's always going to happen. You're going to be perfectly in tune and you just know where to jump to. On the fiddle, of course, you don't get any clue as to where that is, so it takes a hell of a lot of practice. And Roy just makes it look so easy, not only on guitar, but here as well. He's just all over the playing because he's putting the personality into it. A lot of players would need 100% of their mental capacity to get this down in the first place. But it really gets into that realm of mastery when you can play something at this level and still joke around with it, interact with the audience, pull different faces. It's just a totally different level, and to be at that level on so many different instruments, Roy really was in his own league. He was one of those guys that sometimes you just get a great guitarist and you think, oh wow, what a great guitarist, but then picking up a banjo and then nailing that, but then picking up a fiddle and nailing that. He played so many different instruments and was really good. He wasn't a jack of all trades and a master of none. He was a jack of all trades and pretty bloody good at all of them. So the amount of practice Roy put in, and his natural musicianship and entertainment, also being a presenter and just being really likable as a guy, is just really impressive. But let's listen to the last half of this performance.
How's the train going?
And there we go. What a fantastic performance by Jimmy. Just absolutely nailing every one of those picks on the banjo. And what I love about this video, at the end, you can see Roy, he falls into admiring the fact that Jimmy is nailing this end piece, and he really gets into this final run. Just rewind it if you need to, just to see how much Roy is into that last run that Jimmy plays, because it's just Jimmy, just totally by himself. Another thing to say about Roy is that he wasn't conceited or big-headed, and he wasn't one of those guys that would want the limelight for himself and push other people out of the limelight because he wanted it. Here, he's seen some talent, and he's pulling that talent into the limelight using his own personality and his own fame, for want of a better word, to now show other players, give them the limelight, give the youngsters a chance. And there are so many players that are so into their own playing, they try and push other people out because they want it all for themselves. And Roy's just totally the opposite. If he sees talent, he's going to put it up on stage and use whatever he can at his disposal to give them a bit of limelight. And that's such a rare quality, especially nowadays in the music industry. He really did have so many different skills, such a wide skill set. Like I've mentioned before, that the guys back in the 70s, that old breed of musician, not only did they know that you had to pay your dues in terms of putting the hours in to get good enough to sell a performance, but then you had to connect with the audience and have that personality within the performance as well. Such a rarity to be able to do that on different instruments. Some people never even get that far of being able to nail it on one instrument. They sometimes look down at the guitar or whatever instrument they're playing and can't connect with an audience at the same time. So I just had to get Roy up on screen again because he's such an insanely talented guy. And sometimes people might not have even appreciated how great he was because he was so good at layering in the humor, the entertainment, and making it look easy, where some people who have commented on the videos that I've done of Roy, they haven't even heard of Roy, but they've acknowledged how difficult what he's doing is because they play guitar and they realize what it takes to play at this kind of level, let alone then adding in banjo and fiddle and all the other instruments that Roy does play. Thanks so much for watching. If you get a chance, delve into Roy Clark's body of work. Just type his name in on YouTube and you get so many top level videos and you really start to get an appreciation of how great this guy was. But Roy Clark, rest in peace. What an amazing talent. What a great guy. Just all around great guy as well. Wherever he is, he's probably jamming away with Glenn as we speak. But thank you so much for watching this video and I'll catch you guys at the next one.